Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thank you for this important hearing. Making sure our children have every opportunity to succeed is something I think the entire committee believes in. And this is a good place to start when we're talking about child nutrition and basically giving them the opportunity to grow up healthy and learn throughout the day. Nutrition standards set in the Health and Hungry Feed Kids Act, I think, is an important first step to help creating a healthier and more prepared next generation. But we should also make sure that the schools have the tools they need to provide healthy meals. In North Dakota, 100% of our schools, I'm proud to say, are meeting the standards. And a couple months ago, only one school still had asked for a waiver on the whole grain pasta requirement. So that's pretty incredible in a state that has a fairly high rate of problems as it relates to obesity. However, the Pew study found that 74% of North Dakota schools still need at least one piece of school equipment, kitchen equipment, in order to meet the standards. And Senator Collins and I have introduced a bill to help schools purchase new equipment and provide them with the technical assistance on food preparation and meeting the standards. And so just want to put a plug in for the School Food Modernization Act, which I think will give the tools that many of our people who serve our children every day, and by that I mean literally and figuratively, the equipment and the tools that they need. This is especially important in rural schools where the school districts are already strapped, where you have a large population, or a small population, but a huge need for upgrading. I've said it many times, my mom was a lunch lady. So I'm especially partial to the school lunch program. I know what that had meant. I know what she did every day to try and put nutritious and good food on the table. And I also knew that there were kids that I went to school with where that may have been the only meal that they got all day. And so she took that responsibility seriously. And so we've been talking a lot, Mr. Lord, about program integrity and making sure people who shouldn't be participating in the program aren't. Obviously, the surfer dude hit the news last year in a big way. But Ms. Newberger noted that 1 in 4 applications were denied despite actual household circumstance. And we're wondering how, as we close the loophole and make sure that we don't have fraud in this program, how can we make sure more kids get into this program who actually need these nutritious meals, who actually need that backpack going home on the weekend?
Well, I think you need to raise awareness and perhaps do additional outreach at the school district level. I think there is good awareness of the program, but in some pockets perhaps there isn't. So that's part of your outreach campaign for the program. You always want to be sure those who are deserving are in the program. But
so we've done outreach. I'm looking for a new solution.
Well, that's probably, in my humble opinion, Senator, that's something that's next panel could probably better address. They're obviously working at the local level, and they probably have really good perspective on that. I sort of have the global view.
Yeah, but I think you take my point seriously, which is we have fraud, but we also have a lot of kids who go home hungry, and that's got to be part of this discussion. Ms. Newberger, can you suggest any ideas on how we can expand awareness or how we can expand participation for children who go hungry?
Sure. Awareness is certainly an important part of it, making the programs accessible and making sure they stay that way. So we have focused quite a lot on the ways that you can improve accuracy and make sure the programs are working as they should. It's important at every step of the way there to make sure that you're not putting barriers in the way for families who qualify for the programs and need the benefits. And so that balance is an important way of making sure that the programs remain available to students. Some of the approaches we talked about earlier of relying on data from other programs, the community eligibility provision where very high poverty schools can serve meals at no charge to all students, are ways to make it easier for low-income families to get those benefits.
Thank you. Yield the rest of my time.